And today we have the Ryan Mathisen. I'm super excited to chat with you.
Morning, man. What's going on?
Ryan Mathisen from GloveBox.
I got to tell you, man, I drove about 10 minutes to get here.
So you're exhausted. And
I could have rollerbladed here if I, felt compelled. It's a little chilly, but...
I live in Highlands Ranch, and it's all downhill to here. And... I think one day I'm going to rollerblade.
I think you should.
You know who does rollerblade?
Who?
I'm surprised we're going here this fast. But
let's jump right into the meeting.
Trini Dillon is a rollerblader.
Stop it.
And and I always make fun of her for being a rollerblader, but...
I think you need to live cam your rollerblade to work.
Yes.
I think that'd be fantastic. I love that.
Yeah. Rollerblade. But I literally, it's all downhill to this building, so I could literally just get into that little rollerblade funnel shape that you used to get into when you were 12.
Oh, absolutely.
And then
sounds ideal,
just
man.
ride that little funnel shape all the way.
I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't. At least try it once.
Exactly.
Have Trini drive over.
It did make me feel horribly lazy though. Bike to work day came and went.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to do that now that I don't work downtown.
Yeah.
And
the day comes.
The day comes and goes, and I'm like, it's only 8 miles, and I'm like, nah, I don't think so. It's too much work.
We got a guy at our office that at first he tried an electric scooter, and not like a Vespa. I'm talking like
the actual
like
scooter,
a razor,
like
scooter.
the downtown scooters.
And the maiden voyage, he got a flat tire on the way to work. Second time, he got a flat tire, no joke. So he returned it and got an electric bicycle. So now he's dominating.
Those are expensive.
He's dominating the bike paths of Highlands Ranch, Colorado on his
go.
electric bicycle. And he did eat it on someone's lawn.
Okay.
And so he's got a nice little scar on his leg. Yeah, man. It's brutal.
My son just got an electric scooter. He just bought his own.
Nice.
And it's the coolest thing on earth.
They're awesome,
I'm
man.
zipping through the neighborhood on it, going 25 miles an hour, going, this is amazing.
I think you need them in the office here.
That would be
Just
cool.
Cruise around the office. Yeah. Have a little horn.
Yeah. Ding, ding. They do got a really cool bell on them. So, all right, cool. So Ryan Mathisen, GloveBox. We got so much to cover. The first thing I want to do, and we're going to do the Ryan Mathisen commercial for a long time. Let's just start there. Who is Ryan Mathisen?
Man, I grew up about 20 minutes from here.
Yeah. What high school did you go to?
Minutes. I went to Highlands Ranch.
Did you really?
So I'm right down the way, yeah.
What year did you graduate?
I was 03.
Really?
Man, 03. That sounds like...
Because I was 99, so you were a freshman when I was a senior.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And my sister is 2 years older than me.
Did you know my legacy?
I heard.
Yeah.
There was talks around the hallways about John Michael
Do you
Walker.
know who that guy is?
That's amazing. And I'm sure we knew some of the same people.
I'm sure. I'm positive. Crazy.
So grew up there. Went to college.
I think I knew that. I think your dad said that.
We probably talked about it when you were a Kemper right back in the day.
Probably.
Yeah.
So,
a while back. Yeah. It's super weird.
So Highlands Ranch. Then you went to Kansas.
Highlands Ranch, got recruited to run track. Ran track at Kansas. McKay Jayhawk.
Yeah.
Jayhawk stand up.
And Trenny says you married a beautiful Jayhawk cheerleader.
I did.
Okay.
I did. She's much better looking than me.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I caught her at a moment of weakness.
You had the quads. From running track, and she was like, "That's my."
I caught her at a moment of weakness,
and
15 years later, here we are.
Yeah. There you go. 15. That's
three
good.
kids later. Yeah, we've been together a long time.
Now she's stuck. She can't go anywhere.
Oh no, I got her. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
she's in now. Yeah. 3 kids, 2 dogs, 5 chickens, and 2 rabbits later.
Oh yeah. Nobody's going anywhere.
No, we're invested for sure.
Okay.
Went to KU, ran track out there.
Okay.
Did the 5-year, the victory lap,
Okay.
which I love. Technically 4.5, but my dad will say 5.
Mm-hmm.
And then was going to move to LA.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I was doing, weirdly enough, I was doing some modeling in Kansas City for a company called Wilhelmina.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to move to LA. Was that? Yeah,
Zoolander
right.
style?
Yeah.
Let's do Zoolander lips.
I'll
do Blue Steel. You do
turn.
You do Magnum.
I don't know. I can't turn left, so we're in a bad spot right now.
Yeah, and I can't. So we should switch. Okay, so you're gonna go to LA.
I was gonna move to LA.
Do some modeling.
This is during the recession, man. So it's not a good time to come out of school.
Sure.
Decided to come back to Colorado. My buddy got me a job at AT&T Digital. So just happened to be hiring over there. And again, and during the recession, it's like, man, I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
So ended up over there out of college. We did internet marketing.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, slinging websites and SEO back in 2011 was brutal.
Really?
Nobody had money to spend. Businesses were struggling. So did that for 2 years. And then I had a meeting with my dad one day at lunch, and he said, hey, I got to grow this business. Do you want to come help out?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, man, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I took a pay cut. I was making about $150, out of college, which is pretty good during
incredible.
the recession.
Yeah.
To making like $700 a month selling
Yeah.
insurance. I was like, why? Why am I doing
Don't worry,
this?
this will pay off.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know about this, man. Like, this is a big step down.
Okay.
Yeah, so jumped over to the insurance industry and never looked back.
Yeah, and so the agency at some point a few years later sells, and you jump over to insurtech. Yeah, it's
right
literally
here.
a mile away.
I can see it.
But less than a mile away. But the agency sells, and you jump over to insurtech. How do you become an insurtech guy? Like,
man, I was sitting in my
because I'm not a tech guy at all. Like,
I'm not a tech guy either.
People start talking giggy wigs and stuff, and I'm like, I am not understanding a word you're saying.
What is this sorcery that you're showing me? It's I was sitting in my cube one day. It was about 5 years ago. And I was listening to our service team answer phone calls. And I was like, what the hell, man? Like, what are all these phone calls? Like, why are these? What is it happening? They were calling in for ID cards, pay a bill, all the normal insurance stuff. And I was like, there's got to be a technology for this. Like, this is silly.
Yeah.
And started looking around. At the time, carrier apps weren't really a thing. Like, some of them had them, some of them didn't. And said, hey, we need to aggregate this, and it needs to be, it needs to be the agency's platform, because that's who the clients are calling. They're calling us all day long,
and it's our customer experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's your client. You're spending the marketing dollars to get them on board, and that's kind of where it was born. And I started, making like a concept deck, just putting stuff on paper, and started beating the streets a little bit. I started calling a couple carriers, getting some meetings, and kind of scaled from there. Yeah. So it's something that I couldn't let it go, man.
And so you and Andy and Sean, I guess after the sale said, let's go do this. Or was it prior to the sale?
Well, the sale
it doesn't really matter. If you don't want to get into it, that's fine too.
No, I'd love to. The sale was kind of triggered by the fact that we wanted to go build the product.
Oh, okay.
But we were ready to get out of our current shop and really go do our own thing. We were ready to break out.
Yeah.
We always knew that insurance would be there. We knew how to sell. We know how to scale.
We can always come back later.
Yeah, but we have this concept, and we had to go chase it, man. And so we were sitting at beers, actually, which, everything happens over beers. That's good, I feel like. And we looked at each other and said, hey, we're going to do this. Like, we have to make this happen. If we're going to do it, we got to go do it now.
Yeah.
So, and came to my dad, said, hey, I'm out.
Yeah.
So that kind of triggered the stuff in motion. Selling the agency.
So then it just all started.
Yeah.
Very cool. And it was a big agency. It was a big agency.
It was a big
shop. We can leave the number out. We can leave it in, whatever. But it was a big agency, and the agency is known. I don't know. I don't keep tabs, but it was known, is known for. I mean, you and your brother were like known for going and getting mortgage people to give you guys leads.
That's what we did.
That's what you did,
man.
right? I mean, you guys are notorious for this.
Yeah.
So before we go any further in this podcast, I want the audience of this podcast is at least 550 insurance agents.
Yeah.
So before we go any further in this podcast, I want to give them a nugget of information where they go, holy crap, that was such a powerful piece of information. So how do you do it?
Yeah, the mortgage insurance relationship is alive and well. So which I love. It's only expanded as we've kind of seen things scale since we left the business. We were in North Carolina yesterday, and we were joking. We're like, hey, we should go swing into a couple mortgage offices while we're here and film it.
Yeah, right.
Just to show it on
just to show the process or the conversation.
Just to show how it goes, man. Okay. We'll do it one of these days. Okay. But it's all about working with people that you like.
Yeah.
Likability is a huge factor when you get referral partners. People send business to people that they know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
And so it's no different than dating or, making buddies in a new city. If you move to a new city, it's getting out and targeting.
Well, all of us aren't married to a Kansas City Jayhawk cheerleader. I mean, obviously you were good at dating. So,
look, it's a numbers game,
it
right?
Is, absolutely.
You ask 100 girls out, some of them will say yes.
2 are going to say yes.
There
Wait.
Whatever your number is. But so, I mean, we had
mine was 2. Is that good?
Fair,
no,
man.
I'm just kidding.
That's one too many for me. One is plenty.
Okay.
We had a very specific process of 90 days.
Okay.
You call on a specific amount of mortgage brokers in that time frame, and you're going to see who you jive with, right? And it's all about consistency.
So do you walk away from the ones you don't jive with?
Absolutely.
You're like, that's not happening.
It's
I'm
not
going
work.
a separate way.
Yeah. Unless they have massive amounts of business and you want to take
and you want to keep trying.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's literally, you know it when you meet people, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, oh man, we get along. Like this is interesting. Let's
and is there a specific pitch? Is there a specific, like, this is what we would say?
Well, it's not so much the scripts. I mean, you've got 100 different scripts.
Yeah.
You got to study the market a little bit, right? Are we in a refi market? Are we in a purchase market? You know, what's happening with property insurance in your state, right? In Colorado here, we have hail like crazy.
Right.
Rates are through the roof,
right?
You know, so it was easy for us here to get mortgage leads because they're looking for savings on the mortgage, right? So we have that. If you're in Arizona, for instance, where the property market is, less expensive on the insurance side, you got to pivot your pitch. Yeah. So you got to know your market first and foremost, and do a little bit of research and understand how the mortgage business works and how the insurance relates to it. But it's about consistency, man. Yeah. Like most people just are not consistent. That's the problem. Like Sean's training an agent pro bono right now because we just like to do it.
Right.
And the gal, she would do it for like a week. She's like, hey, I made 100 phone calls to mortgage brokers this week. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. That's great. Perfect. Second week, quit doing it. Third week, started doing mailers to like something else. Fourth week was doing like some other marketing
what are you doing?
Plan. Came back to Sean, like, hey, the mortgage thing didn't really work out. Well, hey, you did it for a week. Like, that doesn't work, man. So, honestly, it's just sheer consistency. Like, if you just stay consistent for 90 days and calling on the same folks that you're
somebody's going to go, this guy's great. Let's start sending leads to this guy.
It's like starting a campfire, right? You go camping. Yeah. You start it starts really small. Yeah. You know, you got a little crackle and then, it grows from there. And after a while, man, once your name starts spreading in the market, in your network, your sphere of influence, it's a train off its tracks, man. You got to be. I always told my producers when I trained them, you got to be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, because once they start sending you 100 leads, you better be ready to do it. Yeah. Because when they call, you need to take care of them.
And you've got a value prop. Yeah, you're like, hey, I get quotes out in 30 minutes. I'm fast. I'm efficient. You know, but if you're not delivering, they're going to go somewhere else. Yeah. So.
It's always interesting because so my wife has an insurance agency, and on day one, I remember this so clearly. On day one, she goes, "Okay, I started an agency like you told me to.
We're open, open for business,
like you made me." And I'm like, "I didn't make you do this." But so on day one, she goes, "Okay, now what do I do?" Yeah. And on day one, I said, "Okay, the person who did our mortgage, who happens to be a friend of ours, I'm like." Go call that guy up and say, where are you sending your leads? Yep. And when he says, I'm sending my leads to fill in the blank, whoever, captive, independent, whoever, ask them if he's happy and blah, 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 have the conversation. Yep. And she calls me back like 30 minutes later. This is literally day one of her agency. Calls me back 30 days later. She's like, he's now going to send all of his mortgage leads to us.
That's amazing.
And you know, she's been in business now for like 5 years, and she's got this one person sending her all of her at-bats.
It's silly.
And I'm like, on day one, she had that conversation. Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, you know, if she wasn't a stay-at-home mom and if she didn't want to like do more, I'd go replicate that same conversation you had on day one. Yeah, think about it. And now you're getting 200 at-bats a month, and it's a great thing. Right?
Everybody knows a realtor or a mortgage broker, period.
Absolutely. Period. And everybody knows. Absolutely. Like, so then it's like, hey, who do you know that's a mortgage broker? Yeah, exactly. I want to take you're a realtor, and your mortgage broker friend out for golf.
You're a realtor and you send your leads to some mortgage lender or two or three. Yeah. The other thing I'd recommend, a lot of agents are like, well, something to your point, you know, they work with someone already. So it's dead. It's dead.
That's not true ridiculous. At all.
Yeah.
That's not true.
That's like people coming to you for insurance and saying, well, I already have insurance. Why would I need you? Yeah. Like they came to you for a reason, or they're talking to you for a reason, right?
That's exactly right.
I don't know if 99% of our clients already had insurance prior. Right.
Well, that's the other thing that cracks me up is when agents go, a part of what I tell agents is, look, if they're currently sending their leads to a captive agent, I almost said names of carriers, but a captive agent, and the captive agent, you know, you can say to the mortgage lender, look, my close rate is 78%. Yeah. That captive agent's close rate is 12%.
Well, explain your process.
I'm going to win more frequently. I'm going to make you look like a rock star way more frequently than where you're currently sending your leads.
I hate to say it, but when I was going up against captives with lenders, it's a layup.
It is. It's an absolute layup.
Like that should be a feeding frenzy all day long.
Absolutely.
You should be targeting those people, and there should be in your 90-day funnel of people that you're consistently seeing, assuming there's synergy there. Yeah. And don't be afraid to be a backup. That's not a bad thing.
That's a great thing.
You'll get your opportunity.
Yeah.
You'll get your at-bats, and you'll earn the right to become number one.
They'll go, geez, the backup just got it back to me in 30 minutes.
Yeah, man. Like
and saved money and got me more coverage and blah, 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 blah.
Jordan Belfort, feel how you feel about him, but he wrote a book called Way of the Wolf. And he talks about being sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, and an expert in your field. Yeah. And those are like the three things that resonate with me when I was calling on lenders. It's like, they think you're sharp as a tack, you're enthusiastic, and you're a leader in your field, and you know what you're talking about. You'll get it.
You'll win.
But you got to get out.
Yeah. So. And you got to be those three things, right? Yeah. It's funny you say that because I read a book that talked about the 4 different sales styles. You probably heard me say this in San Antonio, but like one of the most successful sales like profiles is titled The Lone Wolf. Yeah. And the Lone Wolf is kind of like the screw you all. I don't care what your processes are. I don't care what what you define success as. Leave me alone. I'm going to go get it done, and that's the Lone Wolf. And that's one of the most successful sales profiles there are of sales individuals.
I mean, I'm sure when you're recruiting agents, you love those types of people because they're go-getters. Yeah, right. They're going to take the foundation of your agency and go run with it with their style. Yeah. They'll make it happen, man. Yeah. Those are the best people to work with.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Okay, so what else do we need to understand about Ryan Mathisen?
Oh, man. I got 3 kids, 2 dogs.
What kind of dogs?
4 chickens. I got a...
Why do you... Yeah. Why chickens? My wife wants chickens. I'm like, no, absolutely not. No.
I've got chickens, man. My dogs are rescues. So one of them I rescued from my brother because his wife is like deathly allergic of dogs. Okay. So sadly, I have his dog. So he gets to come visit. And then our other dog's name is Pumpkin, which is a male dog named Pumpkin. Okay. We stole him from who's the gal from who's the actress from
Julia Roberts. That's her name. You stole Pumpkin from Julia Roberts.
What's the kids' ice movie? The animated movie? What's it called? Let It Snow.
Gleaming the Cube. Is that what you're talking about?
What's her name?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Elsa.
Elsa. Yeah. What's her name? Whatever the actress is. I forgot her name.
Something Nelson Mandela.
It slips me. Anyway.
I know who you're talking about.
Or I see her face.
She was in Rent, the musical.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So we stole Pumpkin from her. She was trying to adopt this dog.
Oh, wow.
We got him first.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So she's a famous dog. He is a famous dog.
He is a famous dog.
Wow.
Yeah. He came out of the prison system.
What is that lady's name?
Yeah. What is her name?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Regardless.
Doesn't matter. I know
she's married to Dax Shepard. Anyway.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Kristen Bell.
Kristen Bell. See, I was thinking about the other girl, the one who actually sings "Let It Go."
Got it. No, this is Kristen Bell. Yeah. So
Into the Unknown. Do you know that one?
No.
You know that
keep
one.
Going,
that's the.
No, I do. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know you know that.
I want to hear you keep going. So yeah, we got it from her.
Okay.
And then chickens wise, my wife really wanted chickens, so we got chickens. One of them got eaten by a fox the other day.
Wow.
So that was rough. My kids.
See, it says a lot about your family. Like my wife wants chickens. I said no.
Yeah.
Your wife wants chickens. You're like, sure.
Well, I didn't have a choice. It sounds like you have a lot more control.
Well, I don't. Like I let my wife win like 99.5% of the time, but when I do say no, it's usually like, okay, you let me win so often, I'll let you have this.
See, mine's the opposite. She lets me win about 1% of the time, and she just does what she wants.
Yeah,
so that's our dynamic.
That's probably a better way of saying it. No, I'm not actually letting her win. No. She's just like, this is what I'm doing.
She allows things to happen.
There you go.
It is.
That's more appropriate. Yeah. There you go. So like 0.5% of the time, I don't allow something to happen, and chickens would be one of those things.
Yeah, they're not bad, man. They're actually pretty easy.
I've actually heard they're pretty cool.
But I don't have to take care of them. So that was like our rule.
Yeah, the kids have to take care of them.
Like they're on you, man. Like I don't have time to take care of these chickens. And then we got 2 rabbits. They fell off Santa's sleigh on Christmas. So we got those 2 rabbits.
You'd think they'd fall out of like whatever.
I don't know. They fell out of my house, so now I have these chickens. I wanted to get a mini horse, man. I want a mini horse.
That would be cool. Can you have those in wherever you live?
We don't have an HOA.
Oh, so, wow. Yeah. A mini horse would be awesome.
A mini horse would be sweet. We got to build a little stable. Let
that
them
would
trot
be
around real majestic
really cool.
Like, yeah.
Teach it how to like lift its legs up higher than
that's
normal.
On deck, man. I'm hoping it happens.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
So that's where we're at on the animal front. Nothing else about me, man. I'm married to GloveBox. I mean, we're 7 days a week. 4 14 hours a day. I feel like the more people we hire at GloveBox, the work compounds.
Yeah,
so it just gets
absolutely.
more and more.
How many employees are you guys up to?
We're up to 24 now.
24 employees. Wow.
We started the year with 1.
Wow.
So so we've grown like a weed this year.
So it was you, Andy, and Sean.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Pretty much.
And then at the beginning of the year you had plus 1.
So we were in my buddy's townhome down in Denver. He has like a rental townhome. It's like a 4-story modern whatever with a rooftop. Yeah. He's like, hey, you guys can office out of here. Yeah. No problem. Yeah. I was like, cool. Yeah. It was during the pandemic. Sure. It was cheap rent.
Yeah. It's a cool place.
And we hired our first employee straight out of college. So she's our branding ambassador, Caitlin. And so she was with us in the townhome. Yeah. We were like, we got to get out of here. Like, this is not conducive for employees. Yeah, like, it's just a weird setup. Yeah, you can't have bedrooms in your office. Yeah, it was just weird. The only thing cool about it was the rooftop. But other than that, it was like, we got to get out. Yeah. So, moved down to Inglewood here in Colorado. And
very cool.
Yeah.
20-something employees.
24, yeah.
That's incredible. So before we go to GloveBox, let's talk about funniest story in insurance.
Funniest story.
Funniest thing where you're like, this was crazy. You got to hear this one.
I've got some crazy stories, but I don't think I should tell them.
Yeah. See, it's funny you say that because I've got one that I am always trying to like figure out how to say it. Yeah. But it has to do with religion. Yeah. And it has to do with stuff. And it's just like, I can't really get it. I can't get it said right without probably offending a whole bunch of people.
Yeah. I mean,
not that it's offensive. I just can't figure out the right way to say it.
Yeah. I'm trying to think which ones would be good. I mean, we had so many stories from hanging out with lenders. We used to throw like annual parties with our lenders, and we had they were a bit raucous, to be honest with you. Yeah. It just is what it is. Yeah. I mean, you hang out with lenders, they like to
party.
They like to indulge.
Do they indulge more than insurance agents?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, which is crazy. So we used to. I used to once a month, every Friday, I used to bring like a mini bar into one of my mortgage offices. I won't say who it is, but you know them. And every Friday, like clockwork, we'd have probably 50 lenders in that office just drinking with us on a Friday afternoon. And you've never seen so many people Uber home from work than that Friday afternoon. And we did it once a month.
It's like 4:30 in the afternoon. There's 50 Ubers lined up.
Dude, I was getting 75 leads a month out of that office.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was crazy. Wow. And literally it cost me $300-400 a month to get booze
alcohol
and bring it into the office.
That's crazy.
So like, that was crazy.
And a little events policy every Friday.
Yeah. My dad opened he randomly bought an agency in Arizona. Mm-hmm. Didn't tell anybody. He's like, hey, we're expanding to Arizona. I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, oh, by the way, it's yours. So go figure it out. I was like, oh, fantastic. Yeah. So then he had me traveling down to Arizona like once every other week. Yeah. Trying to call on those lenders. Was it
the same? I mean,
no, it's totally different.
Was it a completely different pitch? I mean, you said that earlier in the podcast.
Yeah, it's totally different.
100% different interaction.
Oh, absolutely. The thing that always comes back, though, is, again, the human connection. Right. Like, people they like. Yeah. And one of my biggest tidbits for agents when you get an established network of lenders is we started, I started the first property and flood insurance CE class in Colorado. Trini probably remembers it. Yeah. That was hugely valuable. We got it approved by the state. Yeah. We taught thousands of realtors every year.
Which was a great foot in the door.
Well, yeah. Then you bring your lender in, put them in front of a group of realtors. Then all those realtors have other lenders. And you bring in the title company and let them kind of facilitate the invites to the realtors. Well, I brought that to Arizona as well. Mm-hmm. And it played really well in Arizona because there's a lot of insurability issues in Arizona. Yeah. There's a lot of flood zones down there and things like that. So that probably played the best in Arizona. But yeah, man, I've got 100 different insurance stories, but maybe that's for another day. Okay. We'll have to get you on the Cease and Desist podcast.
We shall get on the Cease and Desist podcast. The Cease and Desist podcast is always a little bit more lively, if you will.
It's exactly
like on this one, I'm always like, we got to keep it in the box. Hold on, keep it tight. But it would be fun to be on a podcast where you don't have to keep it on the podcast. Yeah, there you go. We'll say the one that I got. So 2 philosophical questions. Okay. Then we jump into who GloveBox is, and then after that, we're going to get into the 5 pillars. Okay. Nice. So philosophical question number 1. This is the one you don't know is coming. Yep. At InsurTech this last time around, somebody said this. Every company that says they support independent insurance agents and doesn't have an open API does not support independent insurance agents.
True.
Okay.
Absolutely true.
So first, let's start with your most basic definition of what an API is for the agents who are listening going, I you lost me already.
Yeah, I think API is probably the biggest misconception with agents right now. It's a buzzword. It's like blockchain.
I agree.
Do you know what blockchain is? We're still trying to figure that out. I don't know what blockchain is, but API is a direct connection into a carrier for something.
Specific. For data.
Billing. Claims. The funny thing about API is like people will be like, well, why don't you just go get the API? It's very simple. Just go get them. It's like, I'd love that. Is there like a phone number I can call? Is there like an email I can just hit up and like, oh man, they're just giving them out?
Can I just do a 01100 and have the API work?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So we connected to a large carrier. They're like, yeah, we have APIs. Like they're great. Nobody's even asked for them before. Like, cool, we're gonna ask for them. Let's get them. We get into it and they're like, well, we have the auto document API, but we don't have the auto data API, and we don't have the home API in 30 states, and we have the umbrella in 2 states. So it's like, yeah, that's cool that you have APIs, but you don't really have anything.
They're not like carte blanche APIs.
Right. Everybody just says, yeah, just get the API and it'll flow
APIs.
nicely. Yeah. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
Interesting.
Like they drill it down to the specific policy line of business.
So there's like an API specific to that line.
In that state.
And then there's a specific API to that line in that state.
Exactly.
And so you have to, so if you were working with one carrier, you might have to get 182 APIs.
Yeah, and they're all at different stages. And think about carriers that are moving over from a legacy platform to a new platform. So hey, if it was written on this platform,
there's no
here.
API. And
or if there is, it's split.
Yeah.
And so it's different.
Okay, so we now got an understanding of API. So API is data coming from a carrier to some platform.
Correct. It's a direct line. It's a highway.
Yeah, and we'll say direct line to GloveBox for now. Okay.
Sure.
So the quote is, every company that says they support independent insurance agents and doesn't have an open API, now everybody understands what API is, does not support independent insurance agents.
Correct.
Do you know of carriers? Are there carriers out there going, we love independent insurance agents, we love and support independent insurance agents, and they don't have open APIs?
Yes.
Lots? Many?
Many.
Is it because their systems are just so old they can't have an API? And it's just like, hey, we would love to have an open API. We really do support independent insurance agents. We just don't have a system new enough. We don't have a new enough engine to do this.
That's usually an excuse.
Yeah.
That's usually not the case.
Okay.
Carriers are 100% focused on distribution. And if it doesn't edge around distribution, they're probably not interested.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
I would think an open API would support their distribution.
You'll have it for distribution if you want it, but let's be real, distribution has been so overran already with different platforms and ways to sell insurance. But there's so many other aspects of insurance, right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like GloveBox isn't specifically related to distribution.
No, we're post-bind service,
post-bind service.
What a crazy thing to think about retention, right?
Yeah, so when they're saying, do you have an open API for post-bind services? They're like, we're not worried about that right now.
Yeah, they're like, oh, well, it's not in the budget.
Yeah.
Or, they're...
And we're working on that, but that's much later.
So to me, if
I see what you're saying. So there's so many versions of APIs that carriers might say, yes, we have open APIs. We do support independent insurance agents. And you're going, from your perspective, you're going, yes, they have open APIs, but not across the board and not in all ways that service independent insurance agents needs.
And it doesn't specifically facilitate independent agents. It facilitates anybody who wants to sell insurance. It could be a digital platform. It could be an embedded experience through a mortgage.
But you're saying there is a lack of APIs that take care of all independent insurance agency needs.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely. It's very front-end distribution heavy. And everything that we hate as insurance agents about our business that's manual, they're not APIs for by and large.
Yeah, got it. So when are those coming? Do those come in 5 years? Those come.
That's what we're doing. We're pushing the envelope. We have been for 4 years. I mean, we're beating their door down right and left,
and having them go, okay, fine, GloveBox. We finally
did
it. We hired a technician to figure that out for you.
I mean, when you get enough push from agencies to say yes, this is a problem, and I think that's another thing is carriers don't, and it's this is not new, but they don't understand what independent agents do. They don't understand how they operate.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because that's one of my last questions for you. Is how well do you think independent insurance carriers understand the independent insurance agency?
I don't think they understand them really at all for the most part. Some invest a lot of time into it, but most don't. They come to their meeting every year and want to know how much production did you do and how much more are you going to do next year and what are you going to do for me? Hey, your loss ratios were 110%. What happened?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was on the carrier side for a decade, and and I managed reps down in Texas and Oklahoma, New Mexico, and managed thousands of agencies before I got back up here to Colorado, where we started bumping into each other.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when you're on the carrier side, you think you understand the insurance agency.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why, but
yeah,
I think there are some misconceptions.
I think it's and to some carriers' credit, they have invested the time, and they have invested the energy, and it reflects in I think how agents think about those carriers, and those carriers win more business.
Yeah,
it's facts.
Yeah,
as we look at what's going to expand out in technology with carriers, the ones that are going to facilitate an open API experience are the ones that's going to win. Period. There's nothing else about it. There's no bones about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next philosophical question is, I heard this said at InsurTech as well.
I hope it's what I'm thinking.
It is. It says, basically the phrase was, just because you can run a predictive credit score doesn't mean that you should.
Right.
So, we could say it this way. Credit score is predictive, but is it fair to run a credit score? What are your thoughts on that?
I love this, and I think it's spot on.
Okay. So what are your thoughts?
Credit has no business being in insurance, period.
Interesting.
Like we need to know, do you have prior insurance?
Yeah.
How long have you had prior insurance?
Yeah.
Not with a company. Who cares how long have you been with a company?
Yeah.
You've had prior insurance.
Yeah.
What's your driving record like?
Mm-hmm.
And what were your limits?
Yeah.
Right? What kind of limits did you carry?
Yeah.
That's it. What else is there?
Yeah.
I know some rich people that have stellar credit that drive like animals.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
why are they getting a better rate than a less fortunate driver that may have bad credit because they hit a rough road?
Yeah. I heard this in the same little session, but they said a person who pays their mortgage every single month, it makes their credit score go up.
Right.
A person who pays their rent
right.
every single month, it does nothing for their credit score.
Correct.
And I'm going, well, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Because my neighbor in Highlands Ranch is renting a very nice home, but they're renting that home.
Sure.
So because I own the home and pay my mortgage on time, my credit score goes up because he's renting the home and paying probably way more than my mortgage.
Sure.
On time, his credit score does nothing.
And someone loses their job, hits a rough patch, COVID happens, your credit goes down.
Yeah.
Like you should be penalized on your driving.
Right.
There's no correlation. I don't see it.
Yeah. It's interesting.
So I like that.
It's also interesting because telematics is coming quick, I mean, it's already here. It's been here for a long time, but every carrier's adopting it now. Every carrier's getting into it. Every carrier wants the data that's coming out of it. And every carrier's going, this is way better information than a credit score.
Absolutely.
So the number one rating variable that has always been like the most powerful variable was the credit score.
Yeah.
And now I think carriers are going, well, why don't we just use a better variable?
Driving habits.
And use driving habits. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
How do you feel agents are going to do in properly educating clients on telematics? That's the problem.
That's tricky, right?
That's the friction.
Well, it's so funny that you asked that question because every single carrier will tell you in our call centers, in our own environments have no problem selling telematics 62% of the time or some significant percentage.
Sure.
Whereas independent insurance agents sell it dramatically less. Yeah. They sell it, 22% of the time.
And not well most of the time.
Exactly. Yeah. And so that's a really interesting question because we know that telematics is being sold in certain environments very well at a high take rate. Yeah. And we know that it's less well in independent insurance agencies. Yeah. So why is that happening? Why do agents think the customers don't want that? Yeah. There's a carrier, State Auto. State Auto's, their discounts for telematics are just out of this world. Yeah. Like more than any larger than any discount I've heard. I'm like, that's incredible that you guys could offer that large of a discount if the driver drives like a careful grandma, right?
Sure.
So it's incredible to me.
My theory on this, and I've seen it in action, is it's easy for one carrier's call center to sell their product, right? Because they know their product. An independent agent has,
and you got an employee who's being
different
paid
carriers with 20 different telematics programs, and they're all over the place and they're evolving quickly. Yeah. My theory is, why don't we have an agnostic telematics system inside the independent channel that everybody leverages?
Well, they say that's coming, right? A driving score. So your telematics driving score is kind of like your credit score, right? It follows you and says this is how good of a a behavioral driver.
Yeah, it's like your Uber rating.
Exactly.
Your
That's
rating
exactly
follows
right.
you.
That's exactly right.
Like, yeah, trying to keep up with all these programs. And, this one's an app and you have to go download this.
This one beeps at me. This one doesn't beep at me. This one I have to plug in. This one I don't have to plug in.
If you're an independent agent in the grind all day, you're like, I don't freaking
This
know,
one
man.
has to stay in for 3 months. This one has to stay in for 6 months.
How do you
and it's like,
sell that?
I have no idea.
Effectively.
That's a really good point because that happens all the time.
Yeah, and then the client's upset and back to whatever carrier they came from. It's like, it's tough. So I think that's the answer is that agnostic telematics, like you're saying, just a driver score that's industry, specific, and not so variable by carrier.
Yeah, and some are leave it in forever, some are leave it in 30 days, some are leave it in 6 months, some are.
You don't get a rate until you leave it in.
Some are. You get your discount at renewal. Some are. The one that I've heard that I really like is you leave it in and you can leave it in as long as you want. If you want to play again,
right.
Basically it's gamification, right? You want to play again, play again. And every month you can play again, and every month you can be like, okay, you're right. I drove like crap that one time because I was in a road rage situation. And now, I want to do over. I want to play again. Yeah. So
then we got like Metro Mile now coming in,
or Route and stuff like that.
Yeah, into the independent space. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But again, educating independent agents on how to sell the product is paramount, or else it will never work.
So, which means we need company people coming in and spending more time with us. Doing having more meaningful conversations.
You can now do this in the system.
I really need you to write more telematics. Okay, well, I really need you to educate me on how to sell more telematics.
And I also need it to stick.
Yeah, right.
To stick.
Right. Okay. Cool. Those are our philosophical questions. GloveBox. What is it?
Yeah. So we're a cat rescue. So we're rescuing cats.
Really?
Getting them off the street.
That's not at all what I understood it to be.
I know. We've pivoted. Pivoted away from what we were doing.
That's crazy.
I know. We're pretty excited about it. I could have
sworn it was an insurtech thing.
It was, but we've just as yesterday. Now
just
we're a cat
cats.
rescue.
Just cats.
Just cats off the streets at risk.
Yeah.
Do
you get them spayed and neutered and stuff, or
we don't want to make that decision for them. We're pretty. We're just getting them ready for the real world.
Yeah.
No, GloveBox. We're so as I mentioned prior. So carriers have their mobile apps that they leverage, which again, as an independent agent, is really tough to keep up with.
Sure.
Different apps, different tech.
Right.
Carriers. And
what does your app do? I don't know.
It's all over the place. So we said, hey, why not aggregate those apps into a single mobile experience and web for independent agents and now white label and keep it in front of your clients with your brand to where not only can they service their business, but now there's this theory that I have around distribution through service, right? Cross sells. We're terrible at cross sells.
Right.
Our agency was awful at it. I'm notorious for saying that. We're awful cross sells. Why not, while we have them on the platform, your platform servicing their account, let's sell them more insurance. Let's keep your menu of products in front of your clients.
You call that the marketplace?
I call it the digital marketplace.
Okay, digital marketplace.
And so nobody's really ever tackled distribution through service. And so that's what our ecosystem is aiming to do is let's get them on your platform for self-service where they know, like, and trust their agent.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're using. And then again, let's recommend other coverages that they may not have on behalf of the agent.
Yeah.
And let's sell more insurance, man.
So let's play this out a little bit. I'm your client.
Yep.
You have my auto and home with you.
Yep.
You don't have my umbrella.
Yep.
And I've used the app to put my auto and home in there.
Yep.
And I also use the app to say I also have a boat. But it's not with you.
Correct.
And so you now know I have a boat, and you know I don't have a umbrella with you.
Yep.
So what is the app basically says to you, the agent? Hey, you have some opportunities here.
So our marketplace, and it'll be out in 2022. We haven't developed it yet.
Yep.
In the initial, it's going to allow you to set your coverages based on what the agency sells.
Okay.
So life, home, or home, auto, umbrella, toys, life, cyber, drone, travel, the whole nine. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use data that we've discovered on the user to be able to service other lines of business.
So use outside data points.
Correct.
But you're going to have to pay for that. I guess
it's built into what we've done. Yeah, so we will be able to surface, hey, this person has a motorcycle, they have a boat, they have an RV, an ATV.
So it'll find what the client has that I don't know.
Correct.
Or that I don't know about as the insurance agent.
Maybe they didn't tell you about, right? They came to you for home and auto. Maybe you didn't do a good job of
Or just the home, right? You got the mortgage lender to bind the home, and you never got the autos.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
So then we'll be able to surface more intelligently other lines of business within your digital marketplace. Your digital marketplace is already there. People can browse it whenever they want. But now we can actually push notify the user and say, hey, we see you have a motorcycle, you should be moving that over to us. The bundle would make sense.
Yeah. So. On commercial too, would it say, we think this person's a commercial lines or a commercial owner, an owner of a business.
Yep.
And it would say to me, the agent, hey, you should go have a commercial conversation with this person.
Correct.
Okay.
And we'll ping the user and say,
that's
hey,
pretty
we know
cool.
you own a business.
That's pretty cool because, 20% of everybody's book of business is a business owner.
Yeah.
And so, do you have 20% of your business written with those commercial owners is a big question.
And I mean, even we talk to so many agencies every day that have 50% monoline home, 70% monoline auto. Like, it's crazy. They don't do life. We didn't do life insurance at our agency.
Yeah.
We had 50,000 clients, 49,000 of them were homeowners, and we didn't do life insurance.
Right.
Like, can you imagine dropping a digital marketplace in there for life?
Yeah.
It would be a field day.
Yeah.
And so the core premise of our product is we're the only ones that are going directly to the carriers and integrating with their back-end systems for service, right? Yeah. Live policy documents, live billing, direct claims reporting functionalities. Aggregate that experience into your platform. My
platform, my agency's platform.
Yep. And the beautiful thing is we can customize it down to the location and even the agent specific.
Yeah.
So each agent can have their own custom platform.
Yeah. So what you're saying is, like, if Premier is your umbrella agency, you can have your own agency's app experience, like insurance advisors could have their own app, even though they're part of.
And then if Sean worked for insurance advisors, Sean could have his own app within insurance advisors underneath
so you can do
PGI.
a parent, a child, and maybe even like you could do.
That's funny. That's exactly what we call it in our
that's what carriers call producers.
But think about. Everybody's talking about making or being embeddable, right? That's how you make yourself embeddable, because now you have a mobile and web platform that you can embed in your mortgage process, in your real estate process, in your financial planner process, wherever you get your business from.
So let me ask you this: I don't want to push back too hard. In fact, I don't want to push back hard at all. But I read a study one time, and it's probably way out of date, right? Yeah. Because now phones can have 82 apps on them or 182 apps on them. And so, Jacob, how many apps do you have on your phone? He just said at least 20. Nice. I don't have that many. I've got like 15. I got 10.
I'm about that range.
So, but they say people are really picky about how many apps they have on their phone. So I don't want to push back too hard. But if I have an insurance agency with 500 clients or 1,000 clients or 2,000 clients, what's the adoption rate that you guys have seen so far of clients that adopt wanting to have the app on their phone? Because I could see the client being like, no, I don't want a King Soopers app on my phone. Sure, Thank you. I don't care about it that much.
Yeah, makes total sense. Yeah, so what we did, and you're exactly right, some people don't want a mobile app, or it's just not their demographic, right? So we also have the web version as well. Okay. So we're embeddable on your website. It's a web app in addition, and a mobile app for iOS and Android. So you pretty much facilitate all markets by doing that. Yeah. Because if someone wants to just go log into their account from your website, So that makes it that makes it pretty easy. Adoption is always relative to how your relationship is with your clients. Yeah. If you're a turn and burn agency and you never talk to your clients, if we market on your behalf to your clients saying, hey, they have this brand new mobile and web platform,
it's going to be ridiculous.
Enjoy, but they have no clue who you are, they're probably not going to respond.
Yeah.
If you have a great relationship with your agents, with your clients, you're going to have a much better adoption. So it really varies based on your relationship with your clients. But in the end, the way we're building out our platform, and we call it the customer experience platform, that's how we fit. Yeah. We're looking to really facilitate the entire experience from the time a person is a prospect all the way through buying insurance, servicing, and onto the digital marketplace. We're bringing in in-app messaging. We'll be the first ones in a mobile app to have in-app messaging and push notifications. So
that's cool.
Adoption is not even going to be a thing if agents and agencies use the product correctly.
Yeah, and you're building it out to be even more than that, right? Or are you not ready to talk about that? Or
I mean, we're building an intelligent quote capture right now to be able to streamline prospects getting data. That's where we get our data from over to the agent to get quotes done. We're looking at facilitating the quote presentation process and platform, so you're not sending it via email. Client will get a push notification when the quotes are ready. They can put their payment info right in the platform. Cool. Ideally, we'd love that to bridge over to the carrier at some point. Think about that. Right into the quote. So the agent's not even touching the billing info.
I love it.
That's beautiful. It's good for security as well. So there's a lot of stuff in 2022 that we're building. The biggest one is going to be commercial. Commercial will be out in Q1.
Very cool. So let me just ask one more question. Who's been the coolest carrier to work with so far? Like, yes, we're open to that. Let's talk about that. You probably don't want to answer the question. But, but
there's some cool carriers, man. We have a really big
Are there
one.
carriers that are going 100%? We want to help you do everything that you're talking about.
We have one right now that we just got off pilot with. We're going into full partnership. It's a really big one. And they are pretty much going all in with us. We had a call with them 2 weeks ago, and one of the guys on the call was like getting upset. He was like, I've been saying this is the future for like 8 months now. I don't know what we need to move faster. Yeah, it was like, I don't know why we're waiting on this. Like, this is the future. It's a carriers. It's getting to the right people. It's getting the right leverage. And once you show them, our background and why we're doing what we're doing, because everything we're building is what we wanted. Like, we're not complicated. It's what agents want. Let us help carriers bridge the gap between the stuff they don't know about agents, and let me show you what you're missing. Right. So let me show you what the agencies need. That's our story. Cool.
Very cool.
So,
anything else you want to say about that?
No, that's it, man.
Okay.
We did it.
Cool. So we are going to wrap this thing up so at Premier Group Insurance, we say we have 5 pillars. And we teach our agents about 5 pillars. We're going to touch on a few of the 5 pillars, just so everybody knows: marketing, fill your pipeline; sales, sell to your pipeline; retention, carrier relations, and agency operations. Okay. So we teach those 5 pillars. And as we teach those 5 pillars, we help agencies not only fill their pipeline indefinitely, but sell to that pipeline, retain that pipeline, carrier relations, because those are so important, and then agency operations. So we're going to go crazy fast through those 5 pillars. Okay. When you think of best-in-class agents you've met over the years, what are you doing to deliver? Tell me, like, best-in-class agents filling their pipeline. What are they doing?
Stop focusing on this month's deals and focus on next month's deals. If you're not selling 1 month in the future, you're losing as a producer. We always taught our agents to have 30, 40, 50 deals ready to rock and roll for the next month. If you're not selling for the future and you're not having a deal count in your pipeline that's closing,
I like that,
as opposed to looking for leads all the time, you're losing. I
got it.
You're not doing your job as an agent.
So a best-in-class agent is selling, is counting their sales for next month, not this month.
They're filling their pipeline.
So you're saying a lot of agents will go, hey, this month I'm on track to sell $100,000 in written premium. And you're going, hey, stop doing that. Start looking at next month and say, do you have $100,000 lined up for next month?
Because what it does is it gets you out of the mentality of, oh, I'm crushing it. I don't have to go market anymore because I'm crushing it this month. And then next month it's like,
I'm back
all my
to
leads dried up. It literally gets you out of that mentality of looking past this month and saying, look, you're selling for next month, the following month. Like, you're always running ahead. And then when you do take a week vacation, 2-week vacation, you're not so super stressed out about your business, right? So, all
right, let me, that was a great answer. So let's jump to the next one. Sales. Best agent pitch you've ever seen, or best sales pitch you've ever seen, like where you're like, that guy, man, he's got it so tuned in. It's so sweet to see.
2 people, personal lines. I'm biased. Sean Mulhern on our team. That dude is very, very good at tonality on the phone. He studies it. If your voice inflection is huge, but the way he pitched personal lines, it was amazing. It was so good, man. Seriously, that guy's good. Commercial, I've never seen a pitch like David Carruthers out of Florida, man. That dude.
I've only bumped into him in person once in not El Paso, San Antonio, just a couple weeks ago. But he seemed dialed in. For sure.
You know what he does is he uses something called reasonable man tone, or reasonable woman tone, if you will. It's talking to people like, are you an idiot? Like, makes so much sense. Like, let's not in that regard, but you know what I mean? It's like, you make it sound so reasonable.
The thing I'm saying to you is realistic to you,
that makes sense, right? Like, it's so reasonable. You're like, how can you not agree with the way he's talking? And I think Carruthers does that really well. He's very reasonable in the way he talks.
It's interesting to me. So I don't know Carruthers well enough, but like the one thing I heard him say was start with the mod or something like that, or like lead with the mod. And that's not like earth-shattering information, right? I mean, in most states you can go poll a business, find out what their mod is, and then call them up and say, hey, your mod sucks. I can help you with that. Right. And so I need to, hey, David, this is Sean. I'd love to find out more about what it is you're teaching and what it is you're doing, because because the first chapter that I heard was lead with the mod or whatever.
Which is not groundbreaking.
And I'm going, okay, that's not
We've
new
been doing that for
information.
years.
People know that one, or a lot of people know that one. So what am I missing?
It's the way that he talks about.
I'm sure there's more.
It's the way that he talks about him getting paid based on the savings that he
heard that,
produces.
which is very interesting.
And that's a very interesting concept because
Approach,
I think most business owners think, hey, I throw money in insurance because it's a necessary evil, right?
Yeah.
And then my agent makes cash and I don't hear from him for another year.
And then he's like, well, I won't take a commission or something. I'll just I'll get paid off of what I save you or something.
Which again, reasonable man tone.
I do think there's some genius there. I haven't like spent the time to get to know it, or see it or feel it or whatever.
Yeah, he's got something good going, man. It's very interesting the way he does it. So yeah, Sean on the personal, Carruthers on commercial.
Cool. Next one, retention. So this is a fun philosophical question for you. What is the correct line in the sand? So the rate goes up 20%, the rate goes up 10%, the rate goes up 5%, the rate goes up 50%. When do you call the client and say, hey, I'm here to help you with your policy. Let's start with that question. Like, where's the line in the sand in your mind where you should proactively reach out to the client and be like, I'm here to help. It's gonna be bad. I'm here to help.
Happens, right? Yeah. We were 15%. 15%.
Okay. I think that's a good line.
Yeah, I think the thing we're all missing is like, you should be getting to the client before they get the news, right? Around you. Because you never want to get the phone call of, I just got my renewal in and it's astronomical. Right?
So I'm already gone.
Yeah. And that comes back to the point of our carriers giving agents enough ammunition to be able to get that data prior to their client calling them and receiving the stuff in the mail, right? Or whatever. So that's actually something that we're working on, being able to deliver that info faster. And then creating some automation around it, saying, hey, if it's over 15%, let's automate a reach out. Hey, we understand. We know what happened. Reach out to us. Let's reshop if we need. Maybe there's some variables that happen. But it's taking a proactive approach versus a reactive approach on that. And
but proactive after 15%.
After 15%.
Reactive under 15%.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
And you can create automation around that.
Yeah, it's always interesting to me to see like where agencies draw that line.
Yeah.
Like there's some agencies that are like, no, if there's a rate increase, no matter what it is, I'm going to proactively do this. I'm going, you're wasting all of your time.
Yeah.
So you got to spend your time on sales because sales is what grows the business. But they'd argue, well, if I take perfect customer service, then that also grows my business.
If you have a client that is complaining about an 8% rate increase, they're a price shopper and they're probably not a good client.
Right.
I mean, we all know that. Yeah. So that comes back to where you're getting your leads from.
Yeah.
How are you incubating them up front? How are you delivering your value proposition up front? Right?
Yeah.
Your client doesn't understand your business if that's the case.
How often are you communicating with your client during the course of their
We always talk about educating the client on your agency, like how you operate, what's available. Train your clients on how you operate. Agents don't do a good job of that.
Okay. Best retention process you've ever seen?
Best retention process I've ever seen.
What's interesting is like our management system, EasyLinks, builds in. There's like Sales Center or Retention Center in EasyLinks, which helps you with that.
Yeah.
So it makes the retention process an actual process.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have anything to add to that?
I like a pivoted over to the commercial side.
Yeah.
Agents are always, especially if they're playing in niches, let's say you're playing in construction, right?
Yeah, sure.
You're always coming up with new strategies of ways to save your clients, capital, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I think we're so used to sharing those strategies with our new prospects. I'm like, cool, I got to go share this with like 50 new clients so I can get 50 new clients. But sharing those strategies with your current clients midterm is a touch point that goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because trust me, other people are calling on your clients.
Yeah.
They're trying to get that business. And if you're touching those clients with, hey, I've got an idea that I'm going to implement here when we start working on the renewal. I just want to give you a heads up. This is what it looks like.
Yeah.
I think that retention strategy goes a long way in commercial.
Yeah.
Of letting them know, hey, I'm sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
I'm engaged in the market. I know what's going on and I have your best interests.
Yeah.
It's not a good time now because we're midterm, but hey, here's what I'm going to do. And I think kind of planting that seed months before you start the renewal is valuable.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Cool. Carrier relations. Real life story of the value of carrier relations. Why are carrier relations important? First of all, have you? So
they're super.
You come from the agency side.
Yeah.
You had a lot of producers. Yeah. Did you ever have a producer go, listen, you stinking underwriter, rah, 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 rah. If you don't handle this claim this way, you claims adjuster, blah, 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 blah. And it kind of hurt the carrier relationship with the agency.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you guys probably deal with that sometimes.
Yeah,
it's like people are in the heat of the moment. But
I guess my point is what do we need to understand about carrier relations?
Yeah, the reality of it is carriers, we're all in this together, you know, and they're partners in our business. They chose to work with us. They allow us to write their products. And there needs to be a certain level of obviously respect and synergy. But I think it's finding ways to work better with carriers around the standard. Yeah. Right. Their normal dog and pony of here's what we do, here's what we write, here's our appetite guide. Right. Sean always talks about it really well because he always was in really well with our underwriters, man. Yeah. If you get in good with your underwriters, your life will be so much better. It's
true.
True. They will take risks on stuff that they may not have taken risks on, assuming you're giving them, preferred business and things like that. I think that's so valuable.
So true.
Is having good relationship with your underwriters, man. Those are the people that will dictate your paycheck.
There are so many good reasons to have an amazing carrier relationship.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
And I don't discount the rep as well. We had numerous reps that were amazing.
Absolutely.
Other reps that didn't do anything. So it's like the spread is pretty wide, but I guess you could say the same thing for agents as well. The spread's pretty wide. But I mean, we had some reps that were truly valuable in what we did. So,
All right. Last one, agency operations. What do you think carriers don't understand about the agency ownership or agency life?
Service.
I know we kind of
service. Okay. They do not understand what agents do on service at all.
Yeah.
Period.
It's interesting you say that because, I think there's I think I agree with you because we do so much to acquire the business. Yeah. And we talk so much about distribution. We talk so much about how much did we grow? How profitable is it? How good is it? Yeah. But we don't talk about, hey, I just sat on hold with your carrier for 45 minutes. Yeah. I can't, you paid me X amount of commission to do this.
It all just went to your service rep.
But it all just went to me sitting on hold.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't continue to write
or
with
my
your carrier
clients,
if I have to sit on hold.
Or my clients not being able to get what they need in a very transparent fashion. Right. Like let them figure it out. Clients are smarter than we think they are. It's
I think you're right. So much of this so much of an insurance agent life is not the binding of new business, but what happens after you bind the business and you have to service and the agent is losing time. Yeah. By interacting with specific
and we're all
carriers.
losing money because of it.
Yeah,
for sure. Because the experience coming in is so nice, it's so friendly. You have 15 carrier, 20 carrier, whatever your script is. Yeah. And then you bind the deal, and it's like, cool. Well, just call me if you need anything. Yeah, it's like you can only say that so much before people start calling you when they need something. And then your full day is you're having really a telethon of phone calls. It's like, we can't continue on this trajectory. Like something has to change. Yeah, So, and we're all losing money because of it. We're losing clients. We're losing cross-sell opportunities. Yeah, carriers are losing money because they're not making it easier. Yeah. So,
and your tool makes it easier.
That's what we're aiming for, man. Okay. It's
GloveBox, 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 GloveBox.
See, he gets paid every time he says that.
GloveBox. Okay, cool. So wrap up. We're wrapping it up. We're in our final 5 minutes. So what words of wisdom do you have for insurance professionals coming into the industry? Well, no matter where they're coming into the industry. A producer at an agency, an agency owner, a claims guy, an underwriter, a whatever, a rep, what would you give them?
The very first thing you need to ask when you're looking to partner with someone to come into the business is how do you market? How do you market? How do you get business? Yeah. Because that's how you're going to be trained on how to go get business. And if they don't have an answer for you, they're probably not a good person to get in business with. Okay. If they don't have strategies on how they're going to help you or educate you on how to go get your leads, you're not going to have a good experience, period. Yeah. And so I think that's where people fall out of the business is they don't have mentors that show them how to get
this is leads. How you fill your pipeline.
If you can't have in your mind a very quantifiable approach to what they're telling you and you can say, okay, cool, I can execute on that plan. That makes sense to me. Yeah. You're not going to partner with that person. And then again, it's self-accountability. Yeah. Like if they're giving you the tools and you're just not executing or that you're not going to execute, then don't waste your time. Yeah. So, but that would be my advice.
Okay. What else needs to be said?
Not a man. The independent industry is amazing. I love it. It's my baby. I grew up in it.
It is. I love it too.
And I get the opportunity to try to revolutionize it now, which we're excited about.
Which brother's cooler, you or Andy?
I'm cooler than Andy, but it's fine. He's not here. He would say he is. So
I mean, but who really is?
Andy and I get along really well.
I believe it, but who actually is the cooler one? I mean, like if we were to go out and I were to hang out with both of you guys till 1 a.m. in the morning, and I were to go back. You know, like he's hanging out with, he has a wife, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm hanging out with you and your wife. I'm hanging out with him and his wife. It's me and my wife. And then at the end of the night, we all go our separate ways. And I go, those are two cool guys. Yeah. But you know, Andy's way cooler. Or Ryan seemed like he's a way cooler guy.
That's a good
because you're
question.
both very good socially.
And we're very different. I feel like it's kind of your
which
brand.
one do you think I'd go home and be like, yeah, I think this guy edged him out? Which one do you think would, like objectively, who do you think?
Objectively, it'd probably be me.
Really?
That's all right.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
That's cool.
But it depends on your flavor, right?
Yeah.
But Andy's super cool. Him and I are similar and different in the same regard.
All right.
So
is it cool working with your brother?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a really good dynamic. Andy's a hustler.
Yeah.
The dude makes no
He's good.
He makes no excuses. He makes no apologies. Neither does Sean. We're very unapologetic in what we do, but we're very diligent. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming. Ryan Mathisen, thank you so much. This has been Insurance You Indemnify Me, and thank you.
Thank you so much, man.
We'll see you later.
Yeah,
have a good one.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. The lawyer told us we had to record this, so here we go. Premier Group Insurance is providing this podcast for informational use only. This podcast should not be relied on as legal or medical advice. Reference to any specific product or entity does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by Premier Group Insurance. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. Views and opinions expressed by Premier Group Insurance employees are those of the employees and do not necessarily reflect the view of Premier Group Insurance. Copyright 2021, Premier Group Insurance, Inc., all rights reserved. Peace.